everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's having a great day today. Today we're going to share a few of our answers to some of the questions that some of our viewers and fellow YouTubers have sent in to us. So let's get right into this. I'm Gail, of course, and you guys remember my husband, Alan. So we're going to call this little series or segment Sunday's Q&As or something like that. So the first questions comes from a fellow YouTuber, Nona Grace. She asks, how many children do you have and how many grandchildren? So we have 2 children, Ashley and Devin, and grandchildren?
Lincoln, River, Phoenix.
Yeah, 3 altogether. We are very blessed. We don't know. My daughter will not be having any more children, my daughter and her husband, Eric, but my son and his girlfriend, Sam, we just never know. And then the second question from Nona Grace is, what type of work do we do? So I'll let my husband go first.
I'm a truck driver, originally farmer for most of my life, and then get into truck driving and looking forward to retirement.
By truck driving, he means transports.
Yeah.
Yes. And now he works like in the yard. So they asked him to come into the yard. He's like a shunter now in the yard, and he really likes that
Get
a
off
lot
the
better.
crazy roads.
Yeah. And then for me, so I work in an office. My sister and I are co-owners of a franchise, and a very successful franchise and very high volume office that we run. So oftentimes around this time of year, it's extremely hectic for me. So I do pre-record my videos on Sundays, and then I just set them to be released throughout the week. And it just helps me out a great deal because sometimes I'm at my office for more than sometimes 12, 15 hours, depending on the day, for sure. And I start my day very, very early. So thank you, Nona Grace, for those questions. So the next questions, and there's a few of them, come from my dear friend and fellow YouTuber, Sonia. So this is what the first question is, how did we meet?
Been so long ago, I don't remember. I think we've known each other all our lives, eh?
Well,
close to.
I think we were 13 years old whenever we first were introduced, and I was hanging out with Alan's sister, his older, well, not quite older sister,
Older.
older sister, and we became really good friends, mostly in our high school years, I believe, and that's how it started. Our friendship started that way, and then it blossomed into we started going out, and then we were married. And then number 2, how old were you both? So when we first met, I was 13 and we're a year apart. So Alan was 14 at the time. Yeah, I would take the bus home from our high school to go over to when I was hanging out with his sister, and I'd go over right after school and I'd eat supper there, and then my parents would come over and get me. And that's sort of like whenever the foundation, I guess, started. We didn't know that at the time, for sure. Number 3, what was your life like growing up? So for me, I had a really fun childhood. My parents both worked very hard for my sisters and I, our family, I should say. My childhood was fun. We always had a lot of friends over, and if we didn't have friends over, we would be going over to their house and, hanging out there. We just had a lot of fun. My parents always knew where we were. And in 1973, my parents put in an in-ground pool, and that brought in a lot of our friends. We'd hang out there all the time. It was just a lot of fun. And Alan would come over then. We were just friends. We had a lot of fun. So what was your life like growing up?
Well, I grew up on the farm, so there was always activities, always something to do, always outside. Lots of cousins come over on weekends, and just really good childhood.
Yeah, it was always fun. From what I can remember, not whenever they were young, of course, but from what I can remember going over to Alan's house, it was so much fun. Like they would have, whenever I'd get off the bus to go to Alan's house, his mother on a weekday would have this huge meal set out for us, like roast beef, potatoes, vegetables, desserts. Where at my house, my parents both worked all the time, and we only had those big meals every Sunday. And through the week, it was like little, a hamburger, or, it was always a meal, but not prepped the way his mother was.
Well, we had 8 people in our family, so every meal was big.
Very big. And then 8 people in their family, and then all of the kids always had friends over, and their parents always let them have friends over. So, it was always a lot of fun. So the next question is number 4. You said Alan lived on a farm. What was his job?
I was in charge of, when I first started out as a kid, I was in charge of what we called calf chores. You have to go in and feed the calves, clean the stables. And then as I matured, ended up being full-time milker, which me and another guy, we milked about 150 to 200 head twice a day. And it was challenging, but it was fun. I really, really miss it.
And whenever I was around the age that we met each other and we're friends, I would go with his sister to this farm that he worked on.
To see me?
No, not at the time. But, I would go, and he would bring me on tractor rides, and, it was just fun. It was a lot of fun. I didn't know what it was like, farm life, and he knew everything about farm life. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Number 5, how many siblings do you each have? So I have 2. So my older sister, Karen, and I do mention her often in my videos. And then I have a younger sister, Elisa. So Karen and I are just 2 years apart. And my younger sister, Lisa, she is a school teacher. We are 7 years apart.
I have 2 brothers, 3 sisters. 1 brother and 1 sister have passed away. But we're all still fairly close. We talk quite often, so always get together.
There was 6 of them all together, the Brady Bunch, 3 girls, 3 boys.
Yeah.
So there was his older sister, Joanne, and Alan was very close to her. She passed away about 6 years ago. Then his older brother, Johnny, and his name is John, and Alan was close to him as well. Alan was close to all of his siblings, really. And then his other brother, Stephen, he passed away about, 10 years or more ago now, 46 years old. He was very young. He was married to my sister, Karen. So we were 2 sisters married to 2 brothers. And then Alan. And then his next sister is Audrey. And she just lives not very far from us, actually, just up the road. And then his baby sister, and Alan is very close to her. Alan's the baby boy of the family, and Kelly is her name. She is the baby girl of the family. And he loves all of his siblings, and he gets along great with each of them individually, but he's close, I think. He was very close to Joanne, and he's very close to Kelly. He loves Kelly. Loves them all.
Because I can boss her around.
And then the last question from Sonia is, did you go to college and what for? So I'll answer first. I did not go to college. I graduated high school. From there, my father had an office that he offered a course in what his office was income tax. So that was back in 1986. And he offered a course, an online course at the time, I think, or actually you wrote into him and then he did it via snail mail. That's how he did his course. So he said, Gail, why don't you try? So I did. I took the course, took me a little bit longer, and, he really trained me very, very well. And that was in 1986. So I worked for my dad up until about 1999. And then my sister and I, Karen, my older sister Karen and I, my dad decided, well, it's time to retire, and my sister and I bought into a franchise. So, I didn't go to college, but my knowledge is probably college-based, I would think, from my father's years. My father was a school teacher, high school and college, before he opened up his office. So, yeah, I didn't go to college, but I feel like I kind of did in my head. And you?
I did not go to college. I come out of high school and went right to the farm, working on the farm. It wasn't our farm, it was a farm I worked for. We've known them all our lives. It was a passion of mine. I love farming. I did do a short term at Lindsay College for surveying, but after being a farmer so many years, surveying just wasn't for me. I had to stay in the agricultural part of it and ended up getting into trucking.
So whenever he worked at this other agricultural part of it, not a farm to say, it was more like a fertilizing company for farmers, They trained him, or they got him ready to do his AZs, so he was able to drive tractor trailer, and then he went into that, and that's become his passion. He then left that company and went into the trucking industry, where he was on the road for several years before they, said, "Hey, do you want to work in the yard? He's close to home every night." So he kind of really, went for that.
I jumped
for sure.
at the opportunity. Yeah, more time at home, less time on the road. Sure.
Yeah. So that is it for our questions for today. I want to thank Nona Grace, and I'd like to thank my dear friend Sonia as well for sending in these questions to us. If you guys have any other questions, by all means, put them in the description. My email address is in the description box below, guys. Email me if you want, or put them in down below in your comments. I'd be more than happy to collect the questions and, do another Sunday's Q&As. So thanks so much for joining me, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's having a great day today.
Stop. Look at your truck. Your truck fell.
Okay. Move over. Just.
Are you recording?
Sorry. Okay. Okay, that was a good one.
You're still recording.
Oh, shit. Hi, everyone. Can you move your arm up? Oh.